The mission is simple. Make the Vanderkoys pay for what they have done. Insert crazy action montage.
Fun fact about me. I love crazy modern action movies. I was that kid in college who wouldn't shut up about the Raid films. I was on the John Wick train from day one. You already know how much I loved Fury Road. And if you asked me to name my favorite films from the past 10 years, Hardcore Henry and Upgrade would both get a mention. At first glance, Boy Kills World should fit right in. It's got a good gimmick, well, several, but we'll get to that. The fight choreography is excellent, the cinematography avoids getting weighed down by too much shaky cam, there's plenty of solid character actors rounding out the cast, and Bill Skarsgård is consistently good in action roles, even though he's still mostly known for Pennywise. All it needs is Sharlto Copley hamming it up, and you've got the perfect, oh my god, he's here too! So yeah, I was pretty much sold on this from the word go, but I can also see why it landed with something of a mixed reaction. The fights are a ton of fun and unrepentantly violent at times. You can tell each of the villains had a blast, and first-time director Moritz Moore brings in a twisted sense of humor that'll have you laughing one moment and mortified the next. Unfortunately, the film tries to juggle a number of narrative gimmicks that don't fully coalesce before the credits roll. It's not like certain directorial debuts where someone will throw as much as they can at the wall out of fear that they might not get another chance, but Boy Kills World could have benefited from shaving off one or two ideas. The story sees Skarsgård as Boy, a young man living in a city under the totalitarian rule of the Vanderkoy family. As a child, his family was targeted as part of an annual political culling ritual. His mother and sister were killed, and he was left deaf and mute. Since then, he's trained in order to become an assassin, capable of killing each member of the Vanderkoys, particularly their leader, played by Femke Janssen. But instead of being a silent character, his internal monologue is voiced by John Benjamin, so all of the super serious dialogue you'd usually get from this kind of revenge flick is coming from Sterling Archer. Thankfully, that never stops being funny, and if that were the only hook, it would have made for a simpler movie. But as things progress, more gets added to the juggling act. Boy is also haunted by the ghost of his dead sister, his childhood memory flashbacks gradually start contradicting each other. The culling turns out to be less of a political demonstration and more of a Saturday morning cartoon version of the Hunger Games. Nearly every other member of the Vanderkoys is happily ready to betray Janssen, who is less domineering dictator and more paranoid recluse. The action sequences are initially structured like video game levels until that idea gets kind of abandoned, and there's a big third act twist that, while well executed, doesn't amount to much more than swapping out one final boss fight for another. There's plenty to love: Benjamin's aforementioned delivery, Boy's gun glove, Jessica Roth's character design, Copley and Brett Gelman's goofiness, a subversion on the classic hallway fight sequence, and an absolutely gnarly scene involving a cheese grater. But it could have benefited from one more edit in the scripting phase. As an audience member, you'll be pretty much spent with 10 minutes to go, and then it smacks you in the face with an absolutely unrelenting final fight. I won't spoil how, but this is probably the best an American film has utilized somebody from the Raid cast outside of John Wick 3. I just wish I wasn't mentally spent by the time it arrived. Boy Kills World is a fun, nasty little film, but it can't shake the feeling of being the rough draft of a better one. And while it didn't do much at the box office, I really hope Moore does more of these. He's clearly got some ideas that could flourish under the right circumstances. Now let's all hope Skarsgård's next film can break a certain decades-old trend. Thanks for watching!